Hey everyone, so I've been trying out Motley Fool Stock Advisor for a while now, and I wanted to share my experience with you because getting into investing sounds exciting, you want to grow your money, and maybe start building a portfolio that sets you up for the future. But once you actually start, you quickly realize how overwhelming it can be. There are thousands of companies out there, and unless you've got endless time to look through reports, it's hard to figure out which ones are really worth buying and holding on to for years. That's really what got me curious about Stock Advisor. It's not a trading platform, so you're not actually placing trades through it. Instead, it's more of a research membership. You get stock recommendations, analysis, and ongoing guidance from Motley Fool's team. And what I like is that it's very much focused toward long-term investing. It just saves you a ton of time if you don't want to read through pages of financial reports that they believe will keep growing over time. Now, Motley Fool has actually been around since 1993. It was founded by two brothers, Tom and David Gardner, and believe it or not, it started as a simple print newsletter they were putting together out of a backyard shed. From the very beginning, the goal was to help everyday investors make smarter decisions, and over time, that small project grew into one of the most well-known names in stock research. So when I first signed up, I wasn't sure what to expect, but right away, I liked how simple it was to follow. Every month, I got 2 new stock picks in my inbox, plus a list of starter stocks that's perfect if you're just beginning and want a foundation. For me, one of the standout examples was Nvidia. They actually recommended it more than once, and I'll be honest, I didn't jump in right away. I kind of sat on the sidelines for a bit, but eventually I bought some, and seeing it take off the way it did was a huge eye-opener. It made me realize, okay, maybe I don't have to overthink every single pick. Sometimes just following the research is enough to give you a solid starting point. The thing I ended up using the most were the sample portfolios and tracking tools. The portfolios show you how they'd spread money across different types of stocks, which is great if you're not sure how to allocate. The tracking tool lets you log your own buys, and then see updates from the analysis whenever something changes. On top of that, they've got quick guides for beginners and live video sessions during the trading day, where their team just talks through what's happening in the market in real time. And hey, if you're thinking about giving Stock Advisor a try, I'll include a link in the description. That's where you'll usually find the best deals or any discounts that aren't available directly on their main website. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. But like anything, it's not perfect. One thing to keep in mind is that it doesn't link to your brokerage account, so you'll still need to manually place trades, which is not a huge deal, but worth mentioning. Another thing is that most of their picks are growth stocks, and that can be great because when they go up, they really go up. But the flip side is they can also drop just as quickly. Alright, so that's all well and good, but how much does it all cost? So Stock Advisor costs about $200 per year, and for what you get, I think that's a fair starting point. Motley Fool does have higher tiers for more serious investors. For instance, the Epic costs about $500 and adds more picks every month, plus access to research across their other services. Then there's the Epic Plus at just under $2,000, which goes even further with global picks, option strategies, and Tom Gardner's own portfolios. And then at the very top, Full Portfolios and Full One are each around $4,000 and $14,000 a year, which are really designed for people with large portfolios who want more direct access to Motley Fool's teams. For me, Stock Advisor made a lot of sense, it's an affordable option, and it still gives you the picks and tools you'd actually use if you're handling your own investing. They do have those higher priced plans, and they're interesting to look at, but unless you've got a really large portfolio like 6 figures or more, you don't need it. That said, performance is a big part of what Motley Fool promotes. They say that over the last 20 years, Stock Advisor's picks have averaged returns of more than 600%, which is about 4 times better than the S&P 500. And when you look at some of their early picks like Netflix or Nvidia, it makes sense why they brag about that. Those stocks have gone up thousands of percent since they first called them. But of course, not every pick works out like that. In 2021 and 2022, growth stocks in general got hit pretty hard and a lot of the recommendation dropped along with them. That's just part of investing. Sometimes they go up and sometimes they don't. What I've seen though is if you're patient and you hold on to the good ones, they usually outweigh the bad ones over time. And so from my personal experience, I think Stock Advisor really works best for 2 types of people. If you're just getting started, it takes away a lot of the stress of trying to figure out where to even begin. You don't have to go through endless news articles or financial reports. You just get a couple of straightforward stock ideas every month, and you can start building it from there. And if you're a little more experienced, it's still useful because it gives you a steady flow of new companies to look at. I've found it's nice to compare their picks with my own research and see where they line up, or maybe find a company I hadn't even thought of yet. Now, if you're more of a set-it-and-forget-it investor, someone who just wants to buy a simple index fund and leave it alone, then you probably won't get as much out of it. This is really for people who like the idea of picking individual stocks. Compared to something like Seeking Alpha, which has tons of different people posting articles every single day, Motley Fool feels a lot simpler. You're not looking through hundreds of opinions. You're just getting a couple of clear picks from their own team. That makes it way easier to follow, especially if you're just starting out. Now, if you're the type who wants research on everything, stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, bonds, then something like Seeking Alpha covers more of that. At the end of the day, my experience with Stock Advisor has been pretty good. It's not going to do the work for you, and it definitely doesn't guarantee results. You still need to make your own calls, but what it does give you is a solid starting point, fresh ideas to look at every month, and a track record that's hard to ignore. For me, it just made investing feel less overwhelming. Instead of sitting there stuck wondering what to buy, I've got some guidance I can lean on. So if you're interested in picking individual stocks, but don't want to feel like you're figuring it out all completely on your own, I'd say it's definitely worth checking out. So hopefully you found this review helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, as I always appreciate that. And again, if Stock Advisor sounds like it could be a good fit for you, I'll leave a link in the description where you can check out the current deals and discounts. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop those down in the comments, as I love getting to answer as many as I can. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.